The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, make sure you tap into Underdog Fantasy for their special free pick promo that they have going on and first deposit offer up to $250. You can take advantage of the PGA Championship, take advantage of the WNBA. Use that code NBA SGPN to get that special pick and first deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code NBA SGPN. Yes, sir. We're back with another edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice, no the guy. It's me, really raw, villain raw. It's Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. Man, in the NBA last night, the Knicks and the Nuggets thought they were dead in the water for different reasons, but they were assumed to be dead in the water and just dominant, strong, dominant performances to end the games last night. However, despite Jokic having, 40, despite him going over or higher his 51 and a half PRA, only one player yesterday had a triple double, and it was nobody in the NBA. Shout out to Alyssa Thomas, man. Shout out to Alyssa Thomas. Scott Studio Reichel. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beat me up.
Surprise.
Yeah. Fun
Scotty,
overall.
beat me up.
Oh, whoa.
Did you replay that? It's all good. Can't complain. I'd say I kind of wish the games were a bit more competitive yesterday, but either way, still a fun atmosphere nonetheless. The Pacers were awful, simply put. They kind of no-showed the entire game. Hardenstein tied a franchise record for offensive rebounds in a game with 12. So that kind of sums up the game. They were soft. You ended up seeing Miles Turner get half punked by Dante DiVincenzo. And yeah, that kind of sums up the game. Indiana wanted no smoke, and New York wanted all the smoke. And you saw Brunson go for 44. The game was over quickly in the second half. Then you had Denver against Minnesota, and yeah, Joker had himself an all-time game. Joker last night ended up having 40 points, 7 rebounds, 13 assists, and he also had 0 turnovers with all those stats. So Joker gave the Defensive Player of the Year the business, and it was really ugly on behalf of Gobert. So phenomenal performances by Brunson and by Joker and by Alyssa Thomas. Had her 10-plus assists. Shout out to her. But overall, nothing really else to add. The games really came down to 2 monster performances by superstar players, and as a result, now the Knicks and the Nuggets defended home court, and they're up 3-2. That's basically it. Do you have anything else you want to add from yesterday? That kind of sums it up.
I kind of hope that Rudy Gobert has another illegitimate child out there that he has to go see the birth of.
2 more. They have
If
to win
that,
2 more games to win the series.
oh, well, yeah, two more. So, yeah, if Rudy Gobert could just go catch the birth of his 2 illegitimate children that dared procreate with him, I would very much appreciate that as somebody that's sitting on a Minnesota ticket. But nonetheless, Scott, great games, and honestly, I would love to see both of those go to 7. I think they would be interesting. I would love to see both of, especially that Knicks series. I would love to see that Knicks series go to 7. I would love to see the Pacers win that game on the road and send that Knicks series to 7 for sure. All right, now, are you looking for any other ways to look and watch hoops and get paid while doing it? Well, check out nothing less than the WNBA Gambling Podcast. I mean, me and Scott, we're here 4 games every week, all season, and you just got to keep tuning in. Hey, we had our first episode for the games yesterday, and just some quick highlights. Scott had Alyssa Thomas 10 plus assists plus 265. I had Sun -6. That it closed at -8.5 and still cashed. We had Lynx plus 300 on the money line. We had Alyssa Thomas, 11-1, triple double. Like it's just so much. Like, why are you not tapping in with us? You guys should just go ahead and tap in with us and make sure that everybody that's listening to the NBA show is listening to the WNBA show. It's the right thing to do. So make sure you tap into the WNBA Gambling Podcast, smash the SGPN network feed, or wherever you get your podcasts. All right. First game up on the docket, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers on the road going to play the Boston Celtics. Cleveland is down in the series 1-3. Boston has a closeout game at home. 14.5 is the total. 205. No, I'm sorry. 14.5 is what Boston is laying. 205.5 is the total. Injury report here for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And as predicted, Donovan Mitchell questionable, Jared Allen questionable, Karis LeVert is questionable with a knee injury, Craig Porter Jr. is doubtful, and for the Boston Celtics, same injury report, Kristaps Porzingis is not playing. All right, let's see here. Let's play a game. Let's play a game of what ref is it anyways? And for today, we have for this game, he may be the new extender, Scott.
Mhm.
He just might may be. Tony Brothers is getting the head crew chief call tonight for this game in Boston. And we're looking at David Guthrie, Ben Taylor backing them up. I'm going to pull up their stats here in a second. But Scott, let's just go ahead and kick it over to you. Laying 14.5 with the Boston Celtics in a closeout game in Boston. What are you doing?
I am not going to do that. I'm going to take Cleveland plus the 14.5. I feel like this line's too big. I ended up
What?
cashing with the Celtics. I was one of the only people to cash with the Celtics last game because I didn't take the spread. I didn't take anything involving the spread. I took wire to wire, which was the only prop I could have taken for the Celtics that actually won, and that was not easy. A couple of quarters there ended in single digits, but the Celtics did a lead after every quarter, so they got the job done. I wasn't overly impressed by how they played in that game. The Cavs showed up with a lot of energy despite missing two of their best 3-4 players. They looked pretty sharp in general. Boston had more talent, but you even saw it at the end of the game. Boston went, I think, 4+ minutes out of the last 5-6 minutes with no made field goals. They just ended up just kind of going through the motions again late, and Cleveland was able to backdoor the thing as Cleveland lost by about 6. I see a similar story here. I know Boston is going to be at home, so you can argue the crowd should be into it, but Boston sucks at home in the playoffs. We talk about this all the time, 14-14 in their last 28 home playoff games. I don't think Mitchell's going to play. I think that's why the spread is so big. I think they're expecting Mitchell and Allen to sit. But I do think Boston is a team, and we've seen this before. They had the home game against Atlanta, for example, a year ago or 2 years ago, where they lost to this Hawks team without DeJounte Murray at home because they get complacent, they get bored, and they let teams hang around. I think Cleveland can hang in there. I think the fact is Cleveland put together a good effort, and that's all I could ask for when you're that shorthanded. And Boston was really never able to break away. I can see a similar story here. I think Boston's going to win. I'm not picking Cleveland to pull off a miracle and to force a game 6. But I do think Cleveland can lose by 10. I think they hang in there. I think they'll be able to keep this game somewhat respectable on the scoreboard. Give me the Cavs plus 14.5. And you're shocked I took Cleveland.
Yeah. Didn't think you had it in you. Not gonna lie.
I know you're
there.
going to as well. So team ride.
Let's see here.
And Hunter. And here's Young. Backtracks. 5-2. Young lets it go. And hits. Woo! Ice cold.
YouTube.com/NBA Gambling Podcast. If you don't already know what clip that is. Cleveland plus 14.5. Cleveland on the money line. I mean, come on. You let Trae Young beat you in a closeout game at home without DeJounte Murray. Like, well, anything is possible here. Anything's possible. Anything is possible. I'm perfectly fine. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Stefan's mentioning in the comment section, by the way, Celtics 1-10 is plus 230. That I don't mind for value. And I think it's a pretty good deal at plus 230.
So, what if they play? What if Jared Allen plays? Like, what if they just get Jared Allen? That's
Okay.
pretty good. That's pretty good. Like you're gonna feel better on the glass. Jared Allen is able to go and be able to score. And we've seen him with Mitchell out of the lineup be a 20-point per game scorer, start centers against Celtics. Like I think
And
that
no
there's room
Porzingis.
opportunity. Hmm?
No Porzingis helps.
Yeah, I think it's room for opportunity there. So uh yeah, there's no way I was taking Boston. Come on, land 14.5. And yes, if you're taking 14.5, you might as well sprinkle on the money line. You'll kick yourself if they win outright and you weren't on it and you took them on the spread. All right.
I have no idea about the total, by the way. I got nothing for this total. I guess I'm leaning over because if I think Cleveland's going to keep this game close, then I guess I put faith in their offense. Do I, or does that mean I like the under? Like I'm really not sure how to feel about the total here because I think it might come down to the wire. But last game did reach 211. You're looking at the last couple of games here, and really only game 3 was a quote unquote rock fight. It's the only game to not reach 200 in the series. But I just think Cleveland might be able to do enough to keep this game close. I'll lean over. I don't feel great about the total at all, but that's where I'd lean. Do you? Because I don't have a lean one way or another.
I kind of think it goes under.
Okay, I was hoping Cleveland got
And
hot from 3. That's kind of how I was going about it.
I think they might get going a little bit good from 3, but ultimately Boston's got to let this one fall. Like they got to just drop the ball.
Mm.
So I'll take Cleveland. See Cleveland play a little bit better defense and Boston drop the ball under 205.5. But I don't have a good feel about that one at all. Player props, what do you like?
I got to start off with my lock at the end of the show. I'm going to go with Al Horford, PRA again. Give me all the unders. We got to run it back. They did move the line down. It was at 19.5. Now it's at 18.5. Do I really care? No, not at all. If you want to go through Horford's numbers for the last month, give or take, I mean, he's gone under this number, by the way, of 18.5 in 9 of the last 10 games. The one exception, he had exactly 19 in game 1, actually, against Cleveland. If you want to look at his numbers, even dating back to the last 20, he's gone under this number in, sorry, just pulling this up, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of the last 12. The one game he went over was 19. He's had less than 15 PRA in 3 straight games, and he lost minutes to Luke Cornett last game. I don't see Horford playing enough minutes to go over this number, even if he was going to be a solid 3-point shooter. And he's not. He's been a terrible shooter the entire series. But Cornette gave him good minutes last game. I see a pretty similar staggering of minutes between the two of them. So I'm going to go with Horford under PRA again at 18.5. I see minus 120 on FanDuel. It's a good price to me. Give me the Horford fades once again. I'm going to keep riding it until it breaks. So give me the Horford under again. Any other? I like Tatum rebounds too, but I'll let you go next.
Dang, Brian, you ain't see me in the chat, my guy. I said I like the sky. Maybe he's not looking at chat. Maybe he's just waiting to hear it on the airwaves. Yes, I still like the sky tonight. All right. I mean, you're going back to one of your favorite plays that hasn't missed. I'm going back to my favorite play that hasn't missed. Evan Mobley points is still at 15.5, people. Start your centers against the Celtics 17-21, 17-19. I mean, I don't I don't know what to tell you here. He's gone over in all 4 games of the series. It looks like it might not be any Jared Allen, any Spider, maybe not even Levert. Like they need somebody to go out there and score, and he's been effective in all of these games. 66% from the field, 60% from the field, 63% from the field, 62% from the field. Like I'm just gonna go ahead and roll with Evan Mobley to continue to get this done. So Evan Mobley over 15.5 points. It's one of my favorite plays of the day. I do think it's a Jaylen Brown day. Over 24.5. There's actually 2 Jaylen Browns that play basketball today in the NBA and in WNBA, and they both went to Cal, and they're both probably going to get 20. They're both probably going to have 20. I wish they had props on other Jaylen Brown. That'd be a fun little play to give out. I do feel
Well,
like
my question for you, by the way, if Mitchell and Levert are out, Does that mean you're pivoting to Garland blindly? Or are you pivoting to
No,
Strus blindly? What's your strategy?
Merrill. I'm doing Merrill again.
Merrill, okay. All right.
Yeah, I went Merrill last time. I had the over 1.5 threes that cashed like very easily, and I had 3, and it was at like plus 275, I think. But he went 2 for 7 for the rest of the game and didn't get over. But I like Merrill again as just somebody at there, not really paying much attention to. And if it, somehow Boston locks in and actually plays this game right, then he's blowout proof because he's going to be in the game if they're getting blown out. So I would play Merrill, but I don't know, man. I just have trouble trusting Darius Garland, and I have trouble trusting Matt Strus for 2 games in a row. So that's the unfortunate part about that. All right. Yeah, I think that's about it for me. Anything else you got? Oh, hey, let me just go ahead and throw this out there again. Jason Tatum. His 3-point prop is at 2.5 threes.
Still a 2.5?
Let's now get an update on Jason Tatum threes in the playoffs, starting from the beginning. We have 1 for 8, 2 for 6, 2 for 7, 2 for 6, 2 for 4, 0 for 5, 2 for 5, 2 for 8, 2 for 8.
I don't know what's worse, the fact that he thinks he's a great 3-point shooter, or the fact that the casual NBA fan thinks he's a good 3-point shooter. I don't know what's worse.
I'm just gonna let that sit there again and just let people realize that Jason Tatum's threes are at 2.5. I'm not telling you to do anything, but they're at 2.5 and 1 for 8, 2 for 6, 2 for 7, 2 for 6, 2 for 4, 0 for 5, 2 for 5, 2 for 8, 2 for 8. Just saying. All right. Boom. That's it for that game, Scott. Before we get to this game, got to talk to you about NYRA bets. You can bet the second jewel of the Triple Crown with NYRA bet. Sign up today for a $200 bonus deposit. Bonus deposit for NYRA bets using promo code SGPN200. Join now and claim your $200 deposit bonus just in time for the Preakness. And you can get nonstop action with NYRA bets. Evening promotions, bet $50 each on Belmont at the Big A and any track with a first post at 6 p.m. Eastern on Friday. And you can get a $10 bonus bet, win or lose. And if you need any more bonuses than that, you can get a $15 bonus bet, win or lose, when you bet at least $75 on each Belmont at the Big A and Monmouth Park. Visit nyrabets.com to opt in, and you can score big with a 20% bonus on your ticket winnings by hitting an exacta on any or all Belmont at the Big A on Sunday. So feed your competitive edge. Live money handicapping contests every single week. You can have the Friday feeder contest in your entry, and you can earn your entry into a $300 contest plus cash prizes and more. Registration closes before Belmont at the Big A. Third race post time on the day of each contest. Get in and get your bonuses at nyrabets.com/SGPN200. All right. Here we go. I love to see the AT love here on the NBA chat. I love to see it.
She respects coin, and that's all that
Hey,
matters.
man. I mean, if she had been given that MVP last year, we might not be getting this.
Yeah. And that was the reaction that I had for the opening game, was that I said a lot of people would tune in for Caitlin and they would realize, who the hell's this 25 girl in Connecticut that's killing everybody? And she had
shoots a free throw with one arm.
Yeah, pretty much. And AT just
I knew people that did watch the games before was like, what the fuck is she doing at the free throw line? And then she missed. So I know they were pissed. They were like, that's what you get for shooting it dumb like that.
It didn't matter. She dominated the entire game.
Pissed. Hey, I know people
so
like,
good.
what the fuck is she doing? Oh, she's so great. 2 torn labrums and you play like that. Like, you just playing with 2 torn labrums and you just play that well. It's crazy.
Hooper.
All right. Second game of the night, last game of the night, we have the Dallas Mavericks on the road going to Oklahoma City to play the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder are laying 4.5. 213 is the total in this one. Injury report for these two teams. And we have, nothing really matters. I don't care about any of those guys for the Mavericks, and the Thunder are healthy. So, ref port for this one, James Capers. getting the call tonight. Courtney Kirkland backing him up. Kevin Scott as well. All right. So this
Well,
series has moved back to a best of three. That's the first thing. This has moved back to a
yeah.
best of three. And OKC has two at home. I think OKC actually has been playing well. This has just been a tightly contested series. And I mean, they've been limiting the Mavericks to two players, I would say, that are really, really killing them. Sometimes maybe they get a
Two
third in there.
players are
That's
not
how they
named
lost.
Kyrie, by the way.
Yeah, that's just like it's not Kyrie. Like is PJ Washington and Luca are just kind of doing their thing, and Kyrie's just kind of not finding it right now. And so however, I do think that OKC's play style benefits Kyrie better. So if OKC has a better game, I think Kyrie has a better game because Kyrie likes to run. And Kyrie can run with the best of them. If they're going to push the pace, Kyrie will push the pace too. But it's the fact that the Mavs team as a whole does not want to push the pace. They want to play out the half court. They want to play slow. OKC wants to use their young talent, those young guys, how fast they play, how fun they play together, and run up and down the court. So it's really who's going to win. Well, for me, is who's going to win the pace battle. Is it going to be OKC or is it going to be the Mavericks? And I just think in this game, it's going to be a little bit more of OKC understanding that, hey, they just played themselves back into this series. They have a really, really good chance to go up at home here. And they proved to me in that last series that when they understand it's time to take a team out, they did, and they did, and swept the Pelicans. This is tougher talent, but I think that they still compare to these two teams. I was on OKC for the series, so it's only right I take OKC here, laying 4.5. Scott.
Yeah, I do want to ask you, since I know Munaf and I had the show the day after Game 4 unfolded, do you have any takeaways that you wanted to share from the fourth quarter of that game? Or just, it's going to be a competitive series, shit happens, and Dallas fell apart? Is that the main takeaway there?
I mean, I think the
Or
free
anything?
throws was I think the free throws was brutal.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean the free throws was brutal. You definitely think that game goes another way if you hit your free throws. But other than that, for me, I just think it's a really really competitive series. Like I think all these games are gonna come down to that 1 to 10 range.
Yeah, that's kind of why I have a hard time of actually wanting to lay points with any team in the series, because I feel like every game feels like a 50-50 shot. The thing
I understand
is,
that.
Luka's banged up. Look, I don't care what Kyrie's been doing for facilitating whatever. Somebody's got to tell Kyrie to shoot the damn ball. I don't know what the exact thought process is for the entire series. He's kind of been coasting in the first half, and then he's been trying to, take over second halves. That hasn't even happened recently. Kyrie's out here taking like 11 shots in a playoff game. I don't know what the hell Kyrie's doing. So I am going to call out Kyrie because I understand some of it is letting the game come to him. On the other hand, you're Kyrie Irving. Shoot the damn ball. 4 of 11, 0 for 2 from 3, 2 free throws, really? You had 9 points in 2 of the last 3 games. You got to shoot the ball. You played 41 minutes in 3 straight games. You've had less than 10 points in 2 of those 3. I got to call him out. He's got to shoot the ball. So hopefully he ends up being more aggressive moving forward. Luka was very inefficient last game, had a triple-double, missed the free throw at the end, but he was objectively not good. Bunch of turnovers, bunch of poor shots, and the question is, can Dallas overcome a potential lackluster performance from one, if not both, of their star players? I'm not sure they can. But on the other hand, Luka and Kyrie could not have probably played worse, and they still hung in there in that game. The turning point for me, though, in Game 4 was the use of Case and Wallace. I thought Case and Wallace was great in the second half, and I felt that he allowed them to play fast. He allowed them to play with a little bit more defensive versatility. We know Giddey's a non-factor. I'll mention that in the player prop angle of the game. But Case and Wallace playing more minutes, I think, actually does have a pretty big impact in the series because I actually like him a lot. I know you do too. I think that he's in line to make a serious.
I think their bench is so good.
It
Like
is.
they're
Like
just
Kaysen
fun. They're
playing big
fun
minutes
guys.
is the exact guy they needed. He's a 3-and-D option that can help a clamps down, which is big. I think for this game, though, I'm going to Dallas. A part of me thinks that this game comes down to the wire no matter what, and we're going to get another really ugly physical game. If OKC wins at home, would I be shocked? No, it wouldn't shock me at all. But I do think Dallas was definitely in prime position to be up 3-1. The free throws were awful. We'll see if that corrects itself in Game 5. But I think I am going to lean to Dallas. I just feel like there's not much separating these teams, and I really don't want to lay 2 possessions. So if I'm picking this game to be close throughout, I'm kind of going to take the dog automatically. I'm going to lean to Dallas plus 4.5. I see a close game.
Before we finish talking about this game, breaking news: Donovan Mitchell officially unlikely to play tonight. Unlikely to
Yep.
play. So make sure you
Think
all
he's got his
take.
bags packed for Miami or for New York already.
Kaysen said New York or LA. He
Well, New
said,
York probably wouldn't be the Knicks. I think it actually might be the Nets, but that's a bit of a hot take there. I'm not sure he fits in with the Knicks and what they're trying to do.
"Yeah,
Like, I don't think they're going to nuke the
I don't
entire
need him.
core to get him. Yeah,
I don't need
the
him."
Nets need him. The Nets need anybody with a pulse at this point. So he might end up in Brooklyn. He might end up in Miami. Point is, he's not going to be back on Cleveland next year, and they have some decisions to make. So
I actually
hopefully
like
you
the
enjoyed the
the
Mitchell experience
Knicks.
because it's over.
I actually like the Knicks roster presently constructed if they just, all be healthy at the same
Yeah.
time. Like the Knicks actually don't need anybody if everybody just, plays basketball.
Yeah, and you think of the backcourt that the Knicks have. They already have a pretty solid backcourt, two-way guys.
They have
The
great
one
guys on the
question would be
bench.
the one question would be the forward position if you wanted to upgrade from Julius Randle. I feel like the rest is pretty much set in stone. I don't think Mitchell fits, especially with the
I
amount
don't
of
know, man.
resources
I
you
need
can put
Julius
together.
Randle for my regular season wins. I got my playoff killer. I don't need you no more. It's just like Woody, Andy, when he was done playing with Woody. I don't want to play with you anymore, Julius Randle. I have
Yeah,
my playoff killer. I have a playoff killer. He's got 40 in multiple games in the playoffs. Unfortunately, he's going to let us down when they play the Pacers. But
you get my
uh,
point, though. That's the
yeah,
main upgrade spot. It's the forward position, not the guard. So I don't see Mitchell going there. I think Mitchell might go to Brooklyn. Miami makes sense, but you get my point. I hope you enjoyed him in Cleveland. The trade probably wasn't worth it, but he won you a game 7. He had 39 points. He had 50 points in a game 6 loss. That counts for something. So yeah, we're probably not going to see Mitchell again, but we'll see what happens.
watch the Cavs win this game.
They might. Who knows? We've seen weirder things. Can Gus Johnson do the broadcast tonight?
Oh wow, that's great. That's actually a great point. I wonder what Gus Johnson's doing. I feel like he's not busy. All right, 213 is total in that Dallas OKC game. I'm going over. Just because I think OKC, I kind of don't want to go over. I kind of just want to go OKC team total over. Actually,
Both teams can't shoot that badly again, right? Like that was an absolute rock fight. You got to assume that there's some positive regression to shooting.
it's 108.5, man. OKC's
It's a
team
low
total
number for
108.5.
OKC at home.
Like I just feel like if you're on either side to win this game, you should pretty much expect them to get over their team total, and probably the other team has the bad shooting night, or the other team is the one that doesn't add to the total. But if you like either OKC or Dallas, like come on, this is 108.5 and 104.5. I think they're getting over this.
I think the one pushback would be that the Thunder have scored less than 102 points in 2 straight games, and they did win one of those games. That would be the pushback in theory, but
But those are also on the road. Now they're back at home.
that is correct.
So good
Yeah,
points. All right.
important.
Anything else? Anything else on there or play props?
Nothing really else for the actual total. I think I would lean over, but I'm not going to bet it. Once again, we might just disagree on the side here because you're picking OKC to win the series. I originally had Dallas to win the series, but these teams are really just they're just very competitive, like against each other. It just feels like a good matchup. So, yeah, when in doubt, I'll take the points if I can't really tell. But hopefully, Kyrie remembers to shoot the damn ball. 11 shot attempts. So, like, I don't care how many shots you miss. It's one thing if you're going to be an inefficient superstar for one game. That might happen. But if you come out there like Tyrese Halliburton, you shoot the ball 7 times, or you come out like Kyrie and you shoot the ball 11 times, we're going to have a problem. Like, you have to be aggressive, and Kyrie just has not been aggressive. So hopefully that changes, and he goes back to shooting the ball 18 to 22 times in this game. Hopefully. Would you agree with
All
that
right.
statement?
Yeah. I think if OKC wins, Kyrie probably had a good game.
Yeah.
I think Kyrie's play style just fits how OKC wants to play against them. So it's like, all right, if OKC is going to run and gun, let's use our best running gunner to get up and down the floor, push pace. That's why I like Kyrie assists. I like Kyrie points. Like I think Kyrie has a good game here because I think OKC forces this Mavericks team, to speed the pace up and run the entire game. Just keep running.
Just saying, they're putting a lot of faith in PJ Washington.
Yeah,
Kyrie,
man.
you got to do something.
Yeah, man. Like if PJ Washington's gonna cool back off at some point, he's not keeping this up the rest of the series.
I'm
If he
getting
does,
like
this might be
Mark
a
Phillips.
career-defining
Yeah.
moment for him. If he does, this is a career-defining moment for him. This is like Brunson when Brunson took over that Jazz series. Like if PJ Washington continues to play like this and they win this series, he's getting a major contract somewhere else at some point.
Yeah, I'm getting serious Mark Phillips vibes with LeBron calling him Kyrie. I need some help. That's basically Luka right now. Kyrie's
Please.
got to do
Please.
something.
All right.
I don't mind the over assist play, by the way, that Maurice mentioned. He took Kyrie 5.5 assists. I mean, that's been consistent. He's been assisting. He just has not shot the ball, and he needs to shoot the ball. So,
They finally
give me
put
Giddey unders in this game.
Yeah, for sure.
He's getting benched outright.
What are they even? I mean, they're listing him as he's a 10-minute per game player. So
Yeah.
SGA's finally eclipsed 31, and now he's at 31.5 on the points. Minus 125. I see about consensus. You probably shop around and find a better line than that. Man. Really need J-Dub to have a big game, but I'm gonna just keep going with what's working for me, man. I'm gonna just keep playing Isaiah Joe and Casey Wallace. Like in low points totals, those guys literally can it takes 2 shots for those guys to get over their points total for the game. 2 shots. Kaysen's average he's had 4.5. He's gone over that in 3 of 4 games this series, 7, 6, 3, 6. And he's had 2 3-pointers in 2 of those 4. You go and you look at what Isaiah Joe's been doing, the 5.5, and he's been over that in 3 of 4, 6, 7, 13, and 0. He had 0 for 3 last game from 3, but he was 2 for 3 in game 1 and 3 for 4 in game 3. Probably slighter lane to Isaiah Joe a little bit more, but both of those two, I think those are 2 good player props coming off the bench for OKC to take. Anything else?
Well, I mentioned Giddey before. To go through his minutes for the last couple games, he played 16 minutes in game 1, or give or take 17. About 11 minutes in game 2, 13 minutes in game 3, 12 minutes in game 4. So, yeah, he might not play at all, potentially. He might play even less than that if Giddey potentially does not start this game. But he has had less than 11 PRA in 3 of those 4 games, and his under 10.5 PRA is at even money. So even money, I'm probably tempted by.
All right, let's see here. What else do we have? Oh, they're so lame. Could somebody find me an alt line on Isaiah Joe and Casey Wallace? Like, what is it for those guys to get double digits?
I can probably find that. Give me a second. Isaiah
let me
Joe,
know.
and you said Kaysen?
Casey Wallace, yeah. See if
Kaysen, I'm not going to find. There's not going to be any Kaysen props that I could find.
Yeah,
but I can
I feel
find
it.
Joe.
Maybe Joe.
All right, so Joe,
like
Joe 9.5 points. The overs plus 205 on Caesars.
Okay.
Unless you want the threes, but 9.5 points, overs plus 205.
What's 3 threes?
Okay, I like where your head's at there. Give me a second. Let me see what I can find there for Joe. Okay, so for threes, 2.5 threes, the overs plus 255.
250. Yeah.
So
I think I like that. We'll go with we'll go with Isaiah Joe. 3 plus 3s to plus 255. All right. Anything else? You got anything else? Good?
No, I think I'm good. You?
All right. Well, before we get to lock and dog for this slate, gotta talk to you about Underdog Fantasy. The NBA playoffs are here, and our sponsor Underdog Fantasy wants to make it interesting. Easiest place to play fantasy sports. You can pick Blue higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, assists. You can win up to 100 times your money in NBA, WNBA. Hey, Scott, Aaliyah Boston. We was kind of trolling with that one, but we almost hit an underdog lineup with that. It was 2 for 3, but we was kind of trolling with the Aaliyah Boston play for sure. I'm still gonna play it again, but maybe one more time, maybe 2 more times before I give up on it this season. All right, Underdogs available in 30 plus states, including California, Texas, and Canada. Canada's not a state, but and even Canada. That makes it sound like it doesn't, including Canada as a state, and even Canada. So yes, you can even do it in Florida. Florida has their player versus player format. And make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. Underdogfantasy.com, promo code NBA SGPN. All right. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Shout out to the Game Time app where you can get lowest price tickets and guaranteed. And they guarantee it so much that, in fact, if you find somewhere in the same row or section and row as you for less, they will credit you 110% the difference that you paid. Like, that's amazing. Why would you not do that? Make sure you use that promo code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Again, promo code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase with Game Time. I love using Game Time. I can leave the hotel, go to a WNBA arena, and have my tickets before I even get to the door. So make sure you tap into the Game Time app, gametime.co, Game Time app. Code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. All right. How do we play this today? Lock. Run it back. Evan Mobley. Higher. Over. More. 15.5 points. However you want to put it. I'm just going to keep doing it. He continues. He feels good. He continues to find himself in a rhythm. He continues to shoot the ball very, very effectively against Boston. And I don't think Boston actually cares if Evan Mobley has 17, 18, 19, even 20 points. I don't think Boston actually cares. So if it kind of feels like they're just letting him score, if you're just going to let him score, then why would we just not reap the benefits? So let's run it back. Evan Mobley over 15.5 points.
They also don't have many bodies left, just physically. So team might have to shoot the ball because they don't have anybody else.
Yep. No, for real. And for my dog, let's go back to OKC. And let's play OKC 1 to 10 for what price is that? We have plus 170. I'll take it. OKC 1 to 10 plus 170. I think OKC does get the win. I think it's a close game, and we've seen it. All these games have been really, really close, but I think OKC is going to push the pace this time around, and they're just going to go out there and prove why they're the 1 seed and why I really like this team. I like SGA in the closing minutes, and I'm going to take SGA in the closing minutes. So Oklahoma City Thunder 1 to 10, and it's Tony Brothers, and he seems to be the newest Stender. We cannot get past that. Tony Brothers seems to be the newest Stender in the NBA now. So OKC 1 to 10 plus 170. OKC wins at home. Dallas wins at home. We come back to OKC for a game 7. Let's do it.
Okay. For my lock, I'm running back, all reliable. Give me Horford under PRA. Can't say no to it. It's at 18.5 at minus 120. Why would I not take that? They dropped it from 19.5. That's great. He's been going under by like 5 in every game. So I don't even care how much they lowered it by. But Horford's been a non-factor in the series. As Terrell knows, and I'm sure all of you know, he can't shoot. And he doesn't attempt many shots. When you have Tatum, and you have Brown, and you have White, and you also have Drew Holiday, you're basically the 5th option by default offensively. And he's losing minutes to Luke Cornett. So give me the under 18.5 PRA for Horford. I'll keep riding it until it ends up losing. We're undefeated with it in the series. So give me the under 18.5 PRA for Horford at minus 120 as my lock. For my dog, I was actually going to take a Strus prop, but unfortunately they pulled half the lines because we don't know who's playing for Cleveland or not. So I can't even take that anymore. Instead, I'm going to have to look at another option. And the question is, who do I want to potentially fade or back to have a surprisingly decent game, or maybe just a surprisingly horrible game for the Thunder? And I think for this one, I might just put my money where my mouth is and just fade Giddey. But I want to figure out what alt line I actually want for Giddey, if I can find it. Do they have any alt PRAs? Because I would consider an alt under there, but they don't have it, so I can't take it. I think for that case, I might just have to go with Kyrie assists in this game. I might have to go with a little bit of an alt line on Kyrie assists because he's been good at it so far in the series. And even if Kyrie, I hope, is more aggressive, there's no guarantee he's going to be. So give me Kyrie over 7.5 assists at plus 215.
All right. Man, 215. Sheesh.
I want to
Love it.
quickly
All
see
right.
how Kyrie's done in the last couple games for assists. I believe he's gone over this number the last few. He's had at least 7 assists in 3 straight games. He's had at least 9 assists in 2 of the last 3. So yeah, I'll take 7.5.
All right. Anything else for people? Oh no, we have underdog. What are we playing for underdog today?
Can we run back Horford?
Yeah. I don't have no issue with that old man Horford. Let's see. Old man.
They don't need him to do
Horford.
anything on offense. That's the beauty of it. So he has no offensive role, which I appreciate.
Lower 18.5 points, rebounds, and assists. We can. Wow, they have everybody on Boston's bench.
Yeah. I saw Hauser was at 4.5, but we're not picking a route, so I don't think we can actually take that. If I thought Boston was going to win by 30, I would consider taking like a Hauser or something, but unfortunately, that's just not in the cards for me tonight. You want Mobley? We can just take Mobley. I'm fine with it.
I want to take Isaiah Joe.
Okay. What do you want, the 1.5 threes? It was plus
We
money
can.
on
It's higher. It's higher 10 point, and it's spicy 0.105x. So it's a little.
Sure.
It's a little. Yeah, sure. All right, Isaiah Joe, higher 1.5 3-pointers made.
And you want Mobley?
Yeah, we can play Mobley too. I'll
Sure.
never go against that. Mobley higher 16.5. So we have Al Horford lower 18.5 points, rebounds, and assists. We have Isaiah Joe higher 1.5 3-pointers made. We have Evan Mobley higher 16.5 points. That's going to be 6.3x. Make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN at underdogfantasy.com for a special pick and first deposit match up to $250. So make sure you take advantage of that. All right, Scott. Anything else for people before we get up out of here?
Not really. I'll be back once again tomorrow with Munaf. Hopefully we get a couple of game 7s, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. I think Boston's going to win, so there we go. But either way, though, it should be fun. Looking forward to the games tonight. And we have WNBA episodes coming up. When's the next episode? Thursday or Friday?
Tomorrow. Thursday.
Okay. So we have another
tomorrow night for the Friday games. So it'll be tomorrow night episode for the Friday games.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right. Yeah, really need Cleveland here though. This would be the first time we've lost a Boston spread in the series since KD. Sweet. That might not be right.
What are you talking about?
I think that is. Yeah. So if the Cavs don't win tonight, this will be the first time I lost the spread in the Boston series since they swept KD.
You mean the series spread? I thought it was 3.5. Wasn't it 3.5 games?
What? I got 2.5.
You got 2.5? I know Boston was like minus,
but it was plus money. So maybe it was laying. Maybe if it was laying something and it was 3.5. So I guess you can kind of.
I was going to say Boston. I think was like minus 1,600 when the series started. So I just assumed it was going to be 3.5 again.
I think it was 3.5, but it just was like I think it was too much juice for me to play.
It might have been like 140, 150, probably.
Yeah, it was a lot of. I mean, so I guess they technically didn't, but I took the plus money with the 2.5. I felt confident in Cleveland getting 2 games, one on the road and one at home. So we'll see. All right. Other than that, I actually have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way. Oh, wait, no. Like the video before you all leave. Make sure you like the video. And I see all of you in here. Make sure you join us in the WNBA show. It's on the same feed. Just come join us for the WNBA show. And also, make sure you give us a review wherever you get your podcast. Now, I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of ending the podcast. Just end it like this. We are out of here.